Coming up, homecoming festivities are at full swing at the University of Iowa. And later, a historic Iowa City restaurant is opening just in time for homecoming.
Deacon Hill steps into starting role.
All the warm weather may be cooling off in Iowa City.
All that and more coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News.
Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Vivian Samosky.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and his Never Back Down Super PAC has teamed up with 17 Iowa agricultural leaders to form a coalition. This coalition, named Farmers Never Back Down, plans to support the year-round sale of E15, as well as the introduction of the sale of E30. DeSantis also plans to cut incentives for electric vehicles, as well as other Biden-introduced regulations to increase farmer profits. And yesterday, in a 216 to 210 vote, the United States House of Representatives removed Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
8 Republicans and all 208 Democrats voted to remove McCarthy. Among those in support of McCarthy were all 4 Iowa representatives. Representative Miller Meeks and Hinson have shared on social media why they are in support of McCarthy.
The motion to vacate the chair puts the House in complete disarray, and as history shows, it disintegrates any progress the majority governing body has made thus far.
Republican representative from Florida, Matt Gaetz, led the charge. On Monday, he filed the motion to vote on the removal of McCarthy.
It is becoming increasingly clear who the Speaker of the House already works for, and it's not the Republican conference.
The House will vote next week, but there's still much confusion on what is to happen next. This is the first time in history a speaker has been removed from the job.
If you have to lose for something, I will always lose for the country.
McCarthy has stated that he will not be running again. And now back in Iowa City, it has been hot, and as we head into homecoming weekend, let's check in with DITV's Ryan Lynch with our forecast ahead. Ryan.
Thanks, Ashley. And yeah, as you mentioned, it sure has been warm here, but things are looking to cool off here in Iowa City. Today's weather will have a high of 83 degrees with cloudy skies. Tonight will also be cloudy and the temperature will drop to 66 degrees. And tomorrow we'll have mostly sunny skies with a nice high of 78. Looking ahead in the week, it will cool down as we see highs in the upper 50s on Friday and Saturday with partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. On Sunday, it will warm back up again as we see a high with mid-60s with mostly sunny skies. The rest of early next week looks to stay consistent in the 60s and 70s. It will stay nice and cool in the mornings as the lows stay around 40 degrees. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ryan. And a health clinic in Sioux City is reporting a widespread shortage of doctors treating Medicaid patients. We have DITV's Jace Bertrand with more in the newsroom.
Thanks, Ashley. The Iowa Dental Association has reported hearing rising concerns about Medicaid coverage throughout the state, but due to stagnant rates, there's not much they can do. The Siouxland Community Health Center, a nonprofit organization in Sioux City, has recently been forced to only accept children as new patients. 78% of their current patients are Medicaid members. In many cases, Siouxland reports that patients not covered by Medicaid are forced to go to the emergency room rather than the center. 6 states are working to expand their Medicaid coverage, and currently the insurance only covers dental care for children, not adults, leaving many without proper coverage. Back to you, Ashley.
The Iowa City Free Medical Clinic has a new executive director, Jenny Schmidt. She is looking to expand outreach efforts at the clinic after the previous director of 30 years left in March. Jenna Schmidt and Stacy Wilkerson are proud of the progress that the clinic has made and have more goals to further its reach.
In some ways, I don't want to change anything, but we need to provide more health care to more people because, sadly, more people need more health care.
The heart of the clinic lives with the staff and the people who volunteer here.
Bringing in the next generation of college students in Iowa City and grow overall outreach. The Iowa City Free Medical Clinic will continue to grow with new outreach and renovations under their new executive director. And Governor Kim Reynolds announced that NASCAR will be returning to the Iowa Speedway next summer to host a Cup Series race. The race will occur June 16th of 2024 and will be sponsored by the Iowa Corn Growers Association. But there will first be preceded by an ARCA Menard Series race on June 14th and a NASCAR Xfinity Series race June 15th. Governor Reynolds estimates that the race could bring a $100 million economic impact to the state of Iowa. And Herky the Hawkeye is turning 75 this year. DITV's AJ Reister has more on his unique history and impact on the University of Iowa.
75 years of Herky. He's been through tons of changes, glow-ups, and remodels. What started as a fraternity's papier-mâché project has now become a symbol and one of the most iconic mascots in the nation.
Whether it be basketball, wrestling, football, whatever it might be, he's there to lead all Hawkeye fans, and he knows that our following, and again, maybe it's good that he's a bird, because our following is so across the United States, whether it be a bowl game in Florida or a basketball tournament in New York or Texas or California. Like, we've got such a good following. It's good that we're a bird because we gotta get around places fast.
Herky has been a part of some of the biggest traditions in Hawkeye sports and has provided smiles for those who have needed it most.
Representing Hawkeye Nation wherever we go, Herky's in the center of it.
That's what I'm talking about! I got a call from my mom. She's like, listen to this voicemail. Angie, I just wanted to call and congratulate you today. You were an answer on Jeopardy. You and Carrie McDonald. And I stopped listening. I was like, what? I immediately hung up with her and I was like, I can't believe this is insane. So I called Carrie, and Carrie apparently also missed it, but her roommates were watching it and saw it.
What is the University of Iowa? Iowa, yeah.
Alex Trebek said my name. It was on the TV. Carrie's is on the TV.
The celebration doesn't just stop with the mentioning of Herky. At Fry Fest, the University of Iowa unveiled a new statue that was decorated with over 120,000 gems. And to celebrate, 75 different Herky statues will be put up around campus starting in the late spring and will stay in place through the summer of 2024. The first 75 years of Herky has captured Hawkeye hearts across the nation. Who knows what the next 75 could bring? From the University of Iowa, AJ Reister, DITV Sports.
And it's homecoming week at the University of Iowa, and now we have DITV's Grace Lathrop, who is live at the Pentacrest now to give us more details about the festivities going on this week.
Thanks, Ashley. I am standing right here on the Pentacrest where some big names are said to be this week. Hawkeyes are excited for this year's event lineup, and participation and attendance is expected to be high throughout the entire week, as this year's theme is the Golden Age.
Here we're trying to celebrate just everything good happening on campus is a reason to celebrate, and the Roaring 20s was a decade full of awesome celebrations. So for this year, we're trying to capture that moment, capture that experience, and celebrate everything that we do here.
On Friday, the homecoming parade will take place at 5:45 p.m. and the concert will feature a live performance by rapper Sway Lee right after at 8:15 to conclude the night. The interview with Caitlin Clark and Spencer Lee will take place right here on the Pentacrest at 7:30 p.m. after the parade. On Saturday, the week will conclude with our annual homecoming game against Purdue, where kickoff will be at 2:30 p.m. I'm personally excited to see Sway Lee live in action, and I'll send it back to you, Ashley.
That's right, the headliner for this year's homecoming performances, Sway Lee, is one half of the rap duo Ray Schmurmerd. This performance will be following last year's homecoming concert by Sir Chloe with No So. Artists such as Kendrick Lamar, Childish Gambino, and Billie Eilish have also performed at the University of Iowa stage in previous years.
Sway Lee is definitely the biggest artist we've booked for homecoming. In the past, we've brought bigger artists, but usually before they've like hit their peak, and I feel like right now Sway is definitely like at his peak, and so he's definitely the biggest artist we've brought. We're really hoping to diversify our audience and like get more students hyped about this and just hyped about homecoming in general.
p.m. that night at the Pentecrest. And Hamburg Inn number 2 is reopening this week under new ownership just in time for homecoming. The Golden Cap Hospitality owners of Pullman Bar and Diner and St. Birch Tavern bought the restaurant in August and are reopening tomorrow, October 5th. The restaurant on Lynn Street has been serving Iowa City locals since 1967.
In terms of improvement, this place was built by the Panther family that owned it for a long time. I think continuing that legacy, maybe more so than just improving on it, is really our goal. If you look at the history of the Hamburg Inn, the menu had changed over the years and we tweaked a few things, but we were very purposeful about making sure that everything that people know and love from the Hamburg Inn, stays on the menu.
The restaurant is excited to bring back some of their infamous items like pies and shakes and cheeseburgers just in time for homecoming weekend when alumni come back. And a relatively new restaurant in Iowa City is making waves across the nation. The Webster was just ranked by the New York Times as one of the top 50 most exciting restaurants in the United States. The restaurant offers high-end American cuisine that has a seasonally changing menu using locally sourced ingredients. The owner was an Iowa City native who left for the renowned Culinary Institute of America in New York City and decided to bring back the high-end cuisine with him. The Webster is open Tuesday to Saturday and offers indoor and outdoor seating. And Iowa City's Historic Preservation Commission held the 40th Annual Historic Preservation Awards last week. DITV's Kara Doolin has more.
Each year, Iowa City's Historic Preservation Commission and Friends of Historic Preservation hold the Historic Preservation Awards to celebrate individuals and community organizations for their efforts in conserving the city's history. Last week marked the 40th Annual Historic Preservation Awards, which took place at the Highlander Hotel. Property owners, contractors, and groups across the city received awards for residential and commercial rehabilitation, building additions, and more. Iowa City contains 13 different historic and conservation districts, each of which is a mix of commercial and residential buildings. A significant portion of these residential buildings also serve as housing for University of Iowa students.
I think that keeping old buildings is a really great way to keep a community kind of sustainable, and when you tear down an old building, you just kind of lose a lot of that, like those important moments for the community or for its residents.
If you think about it, it's the community's past, its history, its unique culture that makes it different from every other community. It also really just provides that sense of place that makes each community unique.
Another key part of the city's initiative when it comes to preservation is sustainability. The Historic Preservation Commission aims to reuse original materials as much as possible when renovating old buildings. Living and working in old buildings comes with challenges, but Iowa City's Historic Preservation Commission maintains that it's worth it. Kara Doolin, DITV.
And I don't know about you, Vivian, but I think we are in history right now with this whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce situation. It's all I can think about lately. How about you?
Okay, you're a Swiftie, and I don't really know, but I know DITV Sports Director Michael Merrick talked to Hawkeye football players about the most popular relationship going on right now.
Thanks, guys, and as you can see, I'm in Kinnick Stadium right now, and like you mentioned, there's been one couple that's just been dominating the football headlines recently, so much so that I just had to go around and ask the Iowa players, are you a Swiftie?
I do not listen to Taylor Swift, and I'm not no Swiftie.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't tell you one Taylor Swift song, but I know who she is, and I don't think that makes me a Swiftie, but actually Cooper may know a couple of songs too. Cooper might be a Swiftie.
Okay.
Cooper might be a Swiftie. You got to ask him.
I'm not really a Taylor Swift person, to be honest. I hate to say it. I'm sure she's a nice girl, but the only song I can think of is, I think it's called 22. That's like an old song. That's the only song I can recall. So I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan.
I feel like if I say yeah, help my media, right? Help my self-image. I don't know. She's got some good songs. Like, I don't know. I listen to Rod Wave. I just stay in my lane. But good for Kelsey.
I mean, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but you know, I appreciate her music, I guess, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I'll say about that.
I don't know about a Swiftie. I'm more of a Katy Perry guy. Fun fact, she went to high school in Santa Barbara, so I'm more of a Katy Perry guy, if I'm being honest.
It's actually funny you say that. I'm a humongous Swiftie. I love all her songs. I'd be jamming out to Taylor Swift sometimes on my rides to the facility and afterwards, so yeah, I'm all for that. I like Wildest Dreams. I like Style, 22. I mean, I could keep going, but those are probably my three.
And to be honest, it doesn't seem like every player was exactly fearless in answering this question, because I don't really believe that there's only one Swiftie on this team, but luckily for the Hawkeyes, they will never, ever, ever have to answer another question about T Swift. From Kinnick Stadium, Michael Merrick, DITV Sports.
Thanks, Michael. And I'm with you. I think there's a few extra Swifties on the Hawkeye roster we're not hearing from right now. And it was announced that Cade McNamara is now out for the season with a torn ACL after he had to step off the field during last Saturday's game against Michigan State. Backup QB Deacon Hill, a transfer from Wisconsin, did just enough for the Hawkeyes to snag a win against the Spartans.
For anyone who gets the opportunity to play in college, I think it's a blessing. You know, for me, it's been an immense blessing. You know, it's everything I've dreamed of. Obviously, I wish it would have came under different circumstances. You know, I love Cade and wanted the best for him. You know, but it's how football is. You know, there's injuries. It's part of the game. So now it's just my turn, and I think I just got to keep working as like I have.
Before stepping into the Hawkeyes football program, Hill played for the Wisconsin Badgers and redshirted in 2021. He played just one game in 2022, and after a lack of production, along with the Badgers head coach Paul Kreis being fired, Hill decided to enter the transfer portal right before the 2023 season. Hill was rated by 24/7 Sports as the 47th best available quarterback in the transfer portal last offseason. Even as a backup quarterback, Hill played against Utah State and Michigan State and has a posted stat line of 15 for 35 for 164 passing yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Hill did step up and practice with the ones in the offseason when Cade went down on Kids Day. And being listed at 6'3" and nearly 260 pounds, Hill has the build to be a strong QB. But I think it'll be interesting to see if 1 week will be enough for Hill to prepare for the Purdue Boilermakers on Saturday. And the men's basketball team has some fresh faces on the court this year. Coaches, veterans, and the freshmen themselves gave their thoughts on the upcoming season.
The young guys have done really well. I mean, I'm not surprised. Those, you know, we expected all 4 of them to contribute. We're going to be rotating different positions. We'll go big, we'll go small. We might, you know, have a bunch of young guys out there at some point in time. And I have had the young guys together some, and they've competed well.
All 4 of our freshmen have worked super hard all summer, and we've all kind of built chemistry with each other, and that's really paid off. And I think a lot of the guys on the team are kind of seeing that, and it's just really helped everybody.
Because like when you see the older guy, see what they're doing, like you have great stuff. They're gonna coach you. They're not just gonna let you score. You know, you just gotta put some work in.
Building relationships with the new guys coming in, because we got a lot of new guys, and they don't know as much about certain plays, our culture yet, so being able to bring them in and help them and lead the way for them, that's probably the best part.
Hawkeye fans will be excited to see how the team performs October 30th versus Quincy University in their exposition. And on the court, the volleyball team isn't the only team looking to get over .500, but they're looking for a massive upset. Tonight, the #1 ranked Wisconsin Badgers come to town with a perfect 13-0 record. In their 2 home games against ranked opponents this year, the Hawks have struggled to put up some good fights, but the Hawkeyes, who are celebrating Greek night, are ready for the challenge, with the first serve being at 7.
So much going on, so much sports, and I've got a lot of hope here for the Hawkeyes is what it sounds like.
It's such a fun weekend. I mean, homecoming's happening, you got a concert. I mean, there's so much to do once again, so go out and have some fun.
Right, and we will not be having a show on Friday, so that is why today was a little bit longer than usual. But thank you so much for tuning into DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM. For DITV News, I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Vivian Samoski. Have a great day.